with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on CNBC News, NBC News Radio, and KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Podchaser, Tiki Live, Rumble, and more. I am Dr. Marissa, and this is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words, no P words, no Kanye, no Carter, nothing, because I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. And this little one makes me very happy. This is my grand dog son, and his name is Pablo, and he wants to get into the action. He's pretty mad at me because he has a cone. He got his dew claw caught when he was playing with his girlfriend, and so as a result, I'm allowing him to just be himself and not shutting him in the other room because he's not really happy with me. But anyways, I'm so delighted that you're here today, especially because I have a very special guest that I met, I believe it was last week, on location. And it was for a wonderful ribbon cutting for another solution to helping veterans and affordable housing and helping homeless, especially veterans. And so I invited her on today because I want to talk about solution. I also want to talk about what it's like being a veteran, coming back to your own country. And she mentioned the word healing in her little speech. And so I absolutely am delighted to have her here. Please welcome to my studio, Annah Ford. And it is so nice to have you here in studios. And Pablo is excited to have you here too. How are you today?
I'm doing well. It's an honor to be here. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. She's got the peace sign going on. All right. All right. And if I see some eyeballs rolling in, if you are listening to me in your car and you're about to land, you can also watch and listen, not just listen, on the AM FM channels. Come and chat with us. This is a new kind of platform on first week actually on LinkedIn. So we had a wonderful comment yesterday from a LinkedIn user about my show, talking about women, sensuality, aging, body image, and all of that. If you missed that show, go to my YouTube channel and you'll get it there with my co-host Colette Tracy. And today, if you have any experience being a veteran or you want to be able to help and don't know how, then this is the show for you as we focus on solution. But before we do that, and I forgot to let you know, Anna, but I'm sure that you will be a happy breakfast participator if you wouldn't like having breakfast with me this morning. And what we have is a gratitude sandwich. And what we do is very quickly, and I don't like to give people warnings so they don't think too much, but we're going to go tag team and take a bite of my gratitude sandwich, which is 8 specific things that you're grateful for right off the bat. And I do this on purpose because it helps grow that muscle and exercise the muscle. There's plenty of things to be upset and negative about as soon as you wake up and you pick this up, or you can choose to be grateful. So I make that choice every morning on the air with my guests. So here we go. I am grateful that Pablo's not mad at me anymore for having to wear the cone on his head to keep him from messing around with his dew claw. And what are you grateful for, Anna?
I am grateful for family. So I'm
And
grateful for my family, that we are a close family and that we make sure to reach out to each other, at least once or twice a week.
beautiful. And I get specific about my gratitude. So, who do you want to highlight first in your family? You get to do a name.
So first it would be, well, this year my dad passed. So Guy Ford
Oh,
Jr., he was a veteran as
oh,
well. And
oh,
then of course
wow.
I can't mention him without mentioning Maisie Ford, who is my mother.
Oh, wonderful. So that's two. I'll do two now. It's totally okay. I am grateful for technology that allows us to do what we're doing from
Oh,
wherever we
yeah.
are. And I'm grateful for this beloved cup of coffee. This is how I am one with my coffee. Oh, God, that's good. And I do that on purpose because I want everyone to be mindful about how much they appreciate what we do have. And last gratitude, Anna.
My faith. I'm thankful for my faith because it's what brought me through being in the military, and it's what's helping me heal now.
Beautiful. And then at the end of the day, what I want you to do is 8 appreciations, because we're not really good at knowing or approving of ourselves. And I don't know if this happens to you, Anna, but I know a lot of my happiness coaching clients, they come and I'll ask them, what do you like about yourself? And there's always this giant pause. And everybody I know has this critic that says you're not good enough, you're not all that, and who do you think you are? Which really messes us up, because then we start looking for love in all the wrong places. Who likes me? Literally, how many likes me? So
Yes.
we want to do this at the end of the day, but we're going to practice now so people get a sense of the how much they appreciate themselves. So I'll start again so you get an idea. I appreciate that I am positive.
Mm.
I am hashtag positively opinionated. What do you appreciate about yourself?
I appreciate that I'm flexible. So it's some positivity in there, and I am flexible. Yeah.
Beautiful. I appreciate that um, I see the good most of the time. I'm appreciative, or I see the good most of the time. Your turn.
I appreciate that I'm forgiving, that I
Mm.
can be forgiven, because I always feel like I have to give someone the benefit of the doubt. They may not have been having a good day, and I forgive them quickly.
So isn't it amazing when I bring guests on? I don't know them. I don't do pre-interviews on purpose because I want to keep it fresh on the air. And I pick someone like Anna, and she's preaching to my choir. I
Yeah.
just use that tool, BOD, benefit of the doubt. It's a great tool. All right. And how many have we got? One more for each of us. I appreciate that oh, I am resourceful.
Good one.
Pandemic, no pandemic, got to figure out ways to bring in money, energy. And I've added like 2 or 3 more now just to keep it interesting. And you, last one. What do you appreciate about yourself?
I appreciate that I share my smile. I love to smile, and it just comes from within. And a lot of people, when I go like to the veteran hospital, or I go just anywhere, people appreciate my smile.
Oh, and you have a beautiful smile.
Thank
So there
you.
you
Thank
go.
you.
And that is it for Breakfast with Dr. Marissa and Anna Ford. I hope you also enjoyed your breakfast with us. And please, 30 days, that's all you need to do. A breakfast, no calories, of the gratitude sandwich. I promise you'll have a very wonderful day in between the top and the bottom of the bun. All right. And now to formally introduce my guest, Anna is a United States Navy veteran who served in the Gulf War. She's also a 20-year licensed teacher with a master's degree in elementary education. She believes that life should be lived through faith and with passion, self-love, and a splash of color. Please formally welcome to my studio, Anna Ford. And it's so wonderful to have you. And I am interested in finding out. So you said your father was also in the force, and I'm going to ask you to move over just a bit so that you're in the middle. There we go. You saw that, huh? You saw that. So and please do comment in the chat if you have any questions for Anna. I will go to the chat and put it up on the screen if there are any. But go ahead. Your father was also in the force?
Yes, he was. He was in the Army.
In the Army. And did you know that when you were a kid that you were going to be in the Navy?
I did not. It was a surprise to me.
Okay. I got it in the Navy. That's all I know, but it's very catchy.
It is. It is.
And so you enlisted in the Navy because
I wanted to see the world and I wanted to get money for college.
There you go. Two very good reasons. And then you went to the Gulf War first, and then you also spent some time in Japan, right?
I did, yes.
Okay. Yes. And before you go on, let me just backtrack. And I put a little video together of the day that we met, and because I was so impressed with this affordable housing project. Now, just saying that. And the reason why I wanted to address solution and affordable housing on the show is there's so much crap that people usually come up with when you say affordable housing project. One, it's a project like the projects, of the old days, and that it's shabby construction, or it's handouts, or it's something that it's like, oh, well, who's greasing whose palms? Now, if you know me at all, okay, I don't believe these things, but I have a habit of putting the moose on the table, which is my Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room. And I do that because we have to talk about what's out there so that we can correct what's out there and make it way more useful. I don't say things are right and wrong. They're either useful or they're not useful. And those BS belief systems that I just said that were horrific, that are out there, okay, that are out there, because how is it that, and here's the biggest moose on the table, how is it that people who we say we're so proud of you, we're so thankful for your service, we're so, grateful that you went out on our behalf and willing to put your life on the line and yada, yada, yada. And then I go and cover stories where there's homeless all over the streets, and there's homeless veterans camped in front of the veterans hospital, or the in Westwood, there's that giant, beautiful park, and homeless encamped veterans right outside, all along that one wall. Like, how does that happen? So those are the kinds of questions we're going to ask today, and Anna's going to help me understand more. I've had veterans on before. You can Google on my playlist, wonderful people who've also come to speak. But I wanted to bring Anna on because I think she gives a perspective that is so needed around what we can do for the veterans, and some adjustment on our BS belief system. So I'm going to play this little clip so you get an idea. I'll take you back to where we were, and here we go. Enjoy. Oh, hold on 1 second. That's not the beginning.
uncle was homeless and he was a veteran. My sister was able to get his application in. We were able to do the lottery and he was able to move in. Once I started coming to this building, I saw how beautiful it was, how well ran it was, and I couldn't believe that this was a tax credit and a veteran building that took BASH and subsidies. One of the great things about this, the refrigerator, they provide the stove, they provide
All the
microwave.
amenities.
All these amenities are things that when you're placing a veteran that has been homeless into a home, we have only a certain amount of grant money to spend on them. Once you have to purchase a stove and a refrigerator, that eats up most of the money. So they don't have things like the beds and the utensils and the cooking. So TSA has really gone above and beyond in providing the housing. This building is over 3 years old and it looks brand new.
It does.
still.
It's beautiful inside. It's wonderful to finally see veterans being honored in a way that it looks like an honor. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. These buildings, these partnerships.
Fellow veterans are able to heal and to mend the wounds of being in the military. I was in the U.S. Navy. I'm a Gulf War veteran. I also spent time overseas in Okinawa, Japan. And so this veteran village of Carson gave me the opportunity to be with my family. And
we're very concerned about our veterans. Shame on us, United States of America, when we have veterans on the corner with the handouts. Shame on us. Shame on us for not having a place for them to call home. Shame on us. And in more cities, I want to challenge them to do more. Saying that we love you. We appreciate what you do for us, the citizens of the United States of America. I'm very passionate about it. And we're very good. Thank you so much.
I'd like to welcome our councilman for this property, who also long history.
This is Madam Mayor, one of my favorite people, City of Carson, and she's here today opening officially a beautiful facility for veterans. I cannot believe how gorgeous it is, and Carson definitely leading edge of all the cities that are doing so good for veterans.
Yes.
Say hi.
Hi everyone. Hi to all of my veterans out there. Know that I love you and appreciate you, and we want to do more. But Carson is running the lead, and we're going to challenge other cities to take that challenge. Build some veterans housing in your city, and low-income housing.
And how do people find you?
Oh, I'm at City Hall, 310-952-170. That's my number to City Hall. I'm your mayor of the City of Carson.
Are you the mayor's assistant?
I am. My name is Lula Davis. Nice to meet you. I'm from Culver City.
Okay, you know the drill. Ready? He's in, he's out, world peace through inner peace. She just asked me to speak at her women's conference in October. Keep your eyes out for that. Jazz Festival, City of Carson. You know I support them. So
October 3rd. October.
Okay. Now you can.
1, 2, 3.
All right.
sorry. It's rare that I mute, but sometimes I do mute myself. But how did that feel watching that?
Oh, it was a heartfelt moment just to hear on the mayor's heart on veterans, and that she's putting action behind her words.
Absolutely. That's why I love her so much. I part of my occupational hazard of being a beat reporter, because of the show, I get to go on the road and do some on-location freelance, and that's why I was there, is meeting Mayor Eric Garcetti, who's my guy who always does this, and Lula, who also does this. And it's just lovely because this is another BS belief system that people think that politicians are, that joke, right? Like diapers need to be changed often, and it's a horrible joke. And one of the things that I love to do is highlighting great government leadership. And the good news silver lining of all the crap that's been happening is that people are voting now because they get that if you don't vote, we're going to be stuck with people in office who we don't want in office. That's the good news, bad news about what's going on right now. So anyways, I was struck by I want to do two things. So remind me if we don't talk about the affordable housing part of it, but the healing. So take me through your journey, and why is it that there's, in your opinion and your experience, why veterans are just getting lost when they come home, or how do they end up on the streets? Like, I don't understand that. Help me understand that.
I think part of your support system is your family. And when you return from the military, I think your family just thinks, okay, you've returned, you're the same. They don't really understand what you've gone through, that you've gone through war, the things that you've seen in war, and that you're a different person. And it affects your psyche, your mental health. And I don't think family doesn't have the expertise, to help us unwind those things that we've gone through. And sometimes if a community doesn't believe in mental health support, then a lot of times they won't suggest that you go to a psychiatrist or psychologist or get some kind of help. And a lot of times you don't get help until it's too late. Because you think the veteran thinks, okay, I'm normal. I can get over it. I can think new thoughts. But there's something that changed in your soul, in your mind. You are a different person. And accepting that you're different, it's not easy. Because when you get out of the military, you just want to go back to normal, but you're not normal. And normal in the sense of being your typical self without having seen bloodshed, the horrors of war. And so you have a new normal. And you have to be able to accept that and to advocate for yourself, to use your voice to get help. And a lot of times veterans don't know how to do that. They've come from broken families. They don't have professionals necessarily sometimes in their families who can recognize the symptoms, of a break from reality, or a mental breakdown. And so they don't get the help that they need early on. And that's something that I got. I got the help that I needed early on, and I'm still healing. You don't forget the things that you saw. That doesn't just erase when you come home from the military and just tuck away in a neat little package, and just come out when you need it. No, those things come up in your dreams, and you have a lot that you have to mend and heal from, and you have to be honest with yourself and say, I need help. I helped my country, and now I'm in need of help. I'm in need of mending and support.
That was brilliantly said, because I really understand now the where we took a left and needed to take a right. Because when we think about veterans, we think they're defending our country, not really understanding, as you say, trying to get into your shoes, that the bulk of the time that you were there, you are told that you can kill, that you can shoot, that you can harm. And for anyone, I don't care how strong the doctrine is, that is life changing. I don't care how you might think that you're doing what you're supposed to do. To actually take someone's life is not within the normal psyche of a human being. Caveman, even there was a reason, it was for territory or food, or you kill woolly mammoths because they're going to kill you. but to actively go out and I'm guessing, you tell me, that you basically are led to believe. I don't want to use brainwash; it's a very strong word, but you're led to believe that this is a do or die, and the most important thing is to protect your country and your battalion or whoever you're serving with, and that's the most important thing. And you come last, and so if it bothers you, too bad. Just do it anyways because that's why you're there, and if you don't like it, dishonorable discharge. I is that about right? Like,
That's about right.
okay. So what did you tell yourself when you had to do something you didn't want to do? And I'm not going to make you say anything you don't want to say, but as much as you can help, people need to know this. People need to have their mind expanded enough to understand that you're right. It's not a neat little package. You can't go back to normal. You will never be normal again. And, even housing is not enough.
Yeah, it's true. You need that support, and sometimes just understanding what you don't understand it until you're a part of it. And even then, you don't have all of the words to express your feelings, to understand what's happening. And you have so much going on in your brain and your bodily systems that are taking this in, and you don't realize what's going on. It's really stressful. And like I said, you don't really realize the break of it unless you sense yourself being different. And like I said, you advocate for yourself and get help. So that's
Yeah.
a big part.
Even that is like a huge change. So the entire time you're in service, you're told don't think for yourself. And
Right.
and you come home and the first thing that you don't do is think for yourself. And the first thing that you need to do is to think for yourself and say, I need help.
Exactly.
And there's ego, I'm sure, I'm okay, I'm fine, right? Fine
Right.
stands for effed up, irrational, neurotic, and emotional, but that's all of us. That's not just returning vets. But what are your nightmares about, if you can talk about it? What do you see?
Well, it's not so much anymore because, like I said, I got the help that I needed. And my
Good.
family, I suppose because my dad was in the military and my mom is a healthcare worker. So they were there to support me, and my church was there to support me. So, like I said, it was a blessing that I got the help that I needed. And I don't have, the nightmares. I've had to work through the stress, and it's they say it's PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. I think that's more of the things you have to work through, like the panic when you're out, or like 4th of July hearing fireworks. Those are the kinds of things that the triggers
Mm,
that you have to work through, more or less. So for me, it's no longer the
mm,
nightmares, it's just the triggers and feeling
right,
safe in your own presence.
right. Because you did not feel safe ever, probably in the war,
Right. It's
right?
true.
Always
You
looking
never
over
knew
your
what could
shoulder,
happen.
right? Did you see things? Did you see your fellow, like, people die?
Not so much for me because of the kind of ship that I was on during that time. Thank
Uh
God
huh.
I was on a repair tender that was there to give aid and support to other, services like the
Hmm.
Marines, the Army. We were
Hmm.
there to give support. So I didn't see a lot, but we were there. And just the
Right.
stress of that, you
Hmm.
know, was really enough.
Right, right. Like, yeah, because they say that the longer, I can't remember the statistic, how many seconds of stress, and already your body goes into this mode. And if you have longer than that in stress, it begins to break your body down.
It does.
So that's a medical fact. That's not supposition at this point. And so, years of heightened stress, if that doesn't take toll on your mind, soul, body, spirit, and yet it's just I guess I don't want to hark on the problem, but I want us to be cognizant about how deep this problem is, that the whole, people call me, tree hugger, oh, you're just a peace worker, blah, blah, blah. We have to have war because, we have to protect our borders. We have to, make sure that there's not another Hitler. We have to make sure, we have to do things for other people. We have to stand up to atrocities. And there's just got to be another way, because my 8-year-old, my little one, and she hates it when I bring this up, but it's true. She came home from school and said, I don't remember what war it was on TV. And she said, Mom, how do you get to peace through war?
Yeah. Good question.
Isn't that a good question?
It is.
There's gotta be another way to get to peace, and not through war. And I know this is a sensitive topic now, because we've got, at least half of Americans who are of the political side that believes that is, so important, and the budget goes there, and all the emotion goes there. And, thank God we have, the party in place now who's moderated on that, so that we're trying to bring people home. But when we bring people home, we have to, yeah. Anyways, we better go to break, because I've got like 70 different places to go. Let's come back and talk about this whole thing around affordable housing, because I want to talk about what you saw was a beautiful place. I was so impressed. And I actually have some numbers that I got from TSA, the wonderful construction company that I want to give a shout out to. I tried to get the numbers exact, but I didn't get to them in time. But Thomas Safran and Associates is the group, the construction company that put this incredible place together, along with the city of Carson, along with other agencies, along with federal and state money, as well as foundation money. So, I mean, it's a great example of what we can do to help without sacrificing. So we're going to come back and talk a little more about that and get to know what more we can do here on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show with special guest Annah Ford, here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. One of the things that many of us grew up with is being told, don't be selfish. That has led many of us to sacrifice our entire lives to helping other people without helping ourselves. So today's Mental Health Minute is going to re-examine selfishness. Because when we are caring about ourselves, putting ourselves first, then we are more likely to be like that announcement in the airplane. If we use our oxygen first, we are much better at helping others after that. If we don't, we deplete ourselves to the point of no return. So if you're an overachiever and you're running around doing this, doing that, doing this, and ending up in doo-doo, you might want to learn how to be a little more selfish and learn how to take care of yourself and be just a little more selfish. This is Dr. Marissa with your Mental Health Minute, hoping that you have the best day ever. Now.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned into Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, and my YouTube channel, where if you free subscribe, you will get an alert every 8 a.m. in the morning saying to you, it's time to get more positive and to find out how you can be happy 88% of the time. And I just want to do a quick commercial. If you want to see blood, sweat, and tears, or the Temptations, or any fabulous live entertainment, please do go to Saban Theater, the Where Music Meets the Soul organization has fabulous artists, musical artists. I was just there for Cheech and Chong, hilarious. And as well, they are one of my show sponsors. So please do go there. I will be giving out free Asian Oprah giveaway tickets, I believe tomorrow on the show. So you'll have to tune in tomorrow. I also have returning Benjamin Carlton. He is my guest from last week. You'll remember he came on and taught me the proper terms to respect the LBGTQA plus IA plus community. So that's tomorrow's guest. And today, if you're wondering who the very beautiful smiled woman is in my virtual studio today, her name is Annah Ford. She is helping me understand what veterans could use help in when they return. And if you missed the first half of the show, she did a brilliant I'm going to cut that out because I think everybody needs to hear this to understand, not to feel sorry for veterans, not to give handouts to veterans, but to really truly understand the impact of the act of war on a person, that they cannot come back to normal. There is no coming back to normal. It's a new place. And the more we can support that, the better. How did I do on that?
Awesome.
Good. I was listening. It's always a test to see if I've listened to what my guest has said. So you saw the video with just it's a beautifully made a place. I don't know how many units are in there. Do you know offhand? I know
There are
that
51 units.
51 units. And if you could
Yes.
sit just a little closer, I don't know why your volume just went down. Maybe it's mine. Maybe it's okay, perfect. The units, there's a beautiful common area with computers. It looks like executive housing, really.
Yes.
Billiard table outside. You have neighbors there. What percent are, is it 100% veterans?
For the most part, I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yes. That was one of the requirements.
Wonderful. And I know that there was a huge line. And I asked point blank Tyler Monroe how they were able to afford like this level of structure, because I know the rents are much less than what you would be paying if you were living somewhere else. And that is definitely helpful. And as we heard from the lovely niece of a homeless veteran who is also housed there, she said that by the time you use up your subsidy on refrigerators and ovens and all of that, the money's gone. So the fact that all of that is being supplied is great.
Yes.
Yeah. Now there is a on-site. Let me finish the other thing. So it was millions of dollars. I think he said $28 million project. I could be wrong, but it was something like that. And I asked him to break that down. Like, was it all donation? Was it all, and the way he laid it out, it was, we supplied the so many millions, and the company, the Thomas Safran and Associates, and then there was the city of Carson and our wonderful mayor. They actually budgeted millions to go into this housing subsidy, and then the state, and then federal, and then a foundation. So I say all of this because one, all that BS, the bullshit talkie, the belief systems that say it's a housing project, shabby, blah, 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 is so wrong. And if you are holding any of that BS, you can just let it go because it's not helping. And it's a BS that hurts. It discriminates, prejudice. It doesn't help anyone. It's not useful at all. So I think what I want to say is, one, congratulations to that whole team of people. It's a bipartisan collection. There's many like this. I've covered other ones. Mayor Garcetti has been very strong support of things like this. And there's lots of, there's the Tiny Homes Project. There's lots of different things that are being done right now to provide housing first and mental health support in tandem, not even second. And I think that's a solution. And that's why I talk about this on the show. So instead of shaking your head and saying, with when you see homeless vets, when you hear about affordable housing, it's a good thing. So please agree with me on that.
I 100% agree because, like I said, you never know what the veteran has gone through. I know myself, I'm a teacher and I work, but then the things that we were exposed to, not just stress, but then toxic chemicals, we were exposed to a lot and it compromised our health. And like right now, I'm not teaching and I need to take care of myself. So you are correct.
Yeah. So speak more about that. We got a heart on that one, which is great. Let's okay, not necessarily you, but I think people need to know what exactly happens over there.
Yeah.
So toxic chemicals, and why are there toxic chemicals? Because it's chemical warfare?
Pretty much, yes. And then there were burn pits. A lot of different things were being burned, tires, just a lot of different things caught fire. And you're exposed to those things long term. And so it causes a breakdown in your health. And there were a lot of disorders and diseases from the Gulf War that they're still trying to figure out by us taking surveys and giving our information and our feedback. And a lot of these diseases don't have, they don't know the etymology, where it came from, and then they don't have a cure. And so many autoimmune diseases, just a lot of things that veterans are dealing with, like I said, psychologically as well as physically. And so having a place like the Veteran Village, I can come off my job and come and mend and heal because these are the things that I'm dealing with that nobody knows. I'm still dealing with health challenges, from the military. So yeah, and from being in the Gulf War.
All I heard was something like age orange. That's the only thing
Yes.
What was that?
Yeah, so Agent Orange, we were, believe it or not, that was in the Vietnam War, if I'm not mistaken. And here we are being exposed to that in the Gulf War. And you wonder, where are these things coming from? Why are we being exposed? And so
Yeah, and we don't talk. I mean, nobody knows about that stuff. Nobody talks about it. Everybody
no.
sweeps it under the rug. All you hear about is how we need to protect our borders and how we need to fight the Taliban or whatever. So yes, people need to know. Anything else? The chemicals, the burning of materials. What else? Well, the emotional trauma of watching people die. Definitely not a good thing. The years of being convinced that you don't matter as an individual, it only matters as a collective. That's got to do something messed up, right, with yourself, right?
That's true.
Yeah, and you mentioned a lot came from broken homes. Okay, that's something we don't talk about too. That not all, but obviously not the glorified Tom Cruise Maverick, you're going there to, be an officer and a gentleman. The reality is a lot of people sign up because they want to escape. I'm not stereotyping, but you brought it up that in your experience, there's a lot of people from broken homes, so they haven't dealt with their own, and there's eight out of 10 of us have had childhood trauma. So I'm one of them, so having childhood trauma that's unhealed, going into a setting where you don't matter, that only the collective matters, and you're told exactly what to do, especially not think for yourself. Okay. Seeing things that are traumatic, breathing in things that hurt your immune system and more. Okay. And then coming home, you come home, you have veteran benefits. I've heard that it's really difficult to even get into that system. Is that true?
That is true. It takes time. It takes years a lot of times. And so veterans don't have the monies that they need, and some can't work, because their mental health is so declined, or their physical health. And so, it takes years to get those benefits.
Why? You just gave like 2, 5, 10 years. Why is it so hard to transfer over from working in the system to getting benefits in the system? What's up with that?
I'm not sure. We're not looking for handouts. We're not entitled. We're just looking for support. And so I don't know why it's so difficult, but I believe from the literature that I'm seeing is that it's starting to get a little bit easier, but it's taken a long time for that to happen.
Yeah. And that's, when Lulu was saying shame on, I was like, yeah, that's what got me. It's like, I just don't understand. It clicked for me. Like, why is it that the people who we stand up, Veterans Day, July 4th, what other holidays do you guys get?
Memorial Day.
To Memorial Day, except that most people think it's just a holiday to have a barbecue, like all of these, you get 4 or 5 holidays a year where people go, yay. And then the rest of the year you're struggling, and it doesn't hit the news. It doesn't hit the news, which is why I'm doing this. Because it's like we all have to wake up to the fact that, the homeless veterans are homeless because the system in returning is broken.
Yes.
I think the system going in is broken, but that's just my opinion, not going in, but just even having that system. But that's the tree hugging part of me. But okay, if we're going to have a war, if we're going to have soldiers, if we have to have war, then at least do more than 4 times a year saluting. Do more than just, thank you for your service. I mean, it's good that we even do that now. I remember a time before 9/11, we didn't even do that.
Right.
9/11 really helped people recognize first responders and people who do service. That's the hashtag silver lining of 9/11. But we have to do more. So what can we do? Like just any old person who wants to make a difference or help. Like, what would you say would be a good starting point for just the average person to help?
So first of all, I just want to thank and salute you, who is not an average person, who is above average. You're starting the conversation. And I think that's where it starts. If you start the conversation, then people can use their platform as you're using to see how can you lend a helping hand? What is our part? I'm a veteran myself. I am, receiving benefits, but I want to be a part of the conversation. And I get to be that today because of you. And so that's where we start, just having the conversation, seeing what the needs are. If you survey the needs of the veterans, mental health is going to be a huge thing, support. And so having mental health people, you have social workers, because some veterans, they never had, like their basic skills of how to do their financings and how to do certain things. And so they still need a lot of wraparound things, simple things, just lending a hand, having the conversation, starting a blog, going to Skid Row in some of the areas and just giving your smile or giving a token of love just to say, hey, we care, giving some hope. I think it's the little things that help start a fire, a big fire, that will cause this thing to really let veterans know that you're loved and you're supported, and what you did for this country, it really matters. So the conversation is the first thing. And then from there, people have their expertise where they can lend a hand.
Beautiful. Yeah, I just Googled homeless veteran support, and there's just tons of stuff here. So there's no reason why you can't help. There's no reason why anyone, I mean, look at all these different things. But I think too, beyond saying thank you for your support, maybe, I just want to make sure, are you connected into the system? Do you need any help with phone calls? Do you need any help filling out paperwork? That would be a great thing to do in helping the homeless who are veterans. If you're a vet, you go to Westwood, that whole line of people who are there have flags. They're all vets. There's a good place to start, instead of just avoiding the area or shaking your head and oh God. And next time there's something at City Hall saying they want to do something in your city for affordable housing, don't block it, don't fight it. I mean, that's right there another absolute. What you can do differently is, affordable housing project means that it is a group of people who really want to care about our veterans coming back in a classy, non-handout, non-shabby construction way. So I would support cities who are doing that. Go find out if your city's supporting that. Go find out, Lula threw down the gauntlet. What other cities want to do this? So if you're not involved in your city council or your city's ability to, they have a budget. Every city has a budget, right? How much is your city where you're living helping homeless veterans? There's a practical question to ask. So the last question that I ask all my guests is, to who or what, and you already did the gratitude, but it's going to be tied up to any last word for your last minute. Is would you like to say to my audience?
Just thank you for being here, listening. It is an honor to be here. And thank you for getting the conversation out there and rolling.
Yeah.
And,
how do we find you? Do you have a blog?
You know what? Now that my dad is passed, I'm doing a lot of rebuilding.
Good.
And taking the baton that he passed and the torch, and doing a lot of rebuilding. But I do have my Facebook.
Good.
and it's Annah Ford. And I will increase my handles, like I said, as I heal through that process.
Beautiful. Well, we'll definitely have you on again, and whatever I can do to support. And it just is wonderful having the chance to talk to you. And I wish you the very, very best.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's give you a little going out applause. And this has been another show number 771 of Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. Please remember, it's all about balance. You know the deal, Anna. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. No more war. Now go out and have the best day ever.